Alrighty. So it's a deck profile. I went to a regional in Wisconsin, Madison. I got 37th out of I think like 200, or it was like 190 something. I don't know, like just shy of 200 people. The event went really well. It was super fun. It was like the only regional I've gotten to compete in all year. But I obviously played the deck. I've made some minor updates since the regional, but nothing too crazy. But I figured I'd at least share the deck list. The rounds that I had, round one, it was Kashtira Medolce. Round two, it was Flunderies. I 2-0'd the first round, 2-0'd the second round. Round three was against Flunderies. I 2-0'd them. Round four was against Ishizu Tier Elements. I went 2-1. And that was on, they were running a stream, so I got to play at table one for that match. So I'm going to try and rip the video from that stream and put it on my channel. And then round five was on stream again, and I went 1-2. That was my first loss against Sprite. Round six, I went 1-2. I lost into game three in round six against Dragon Link. I had beaten out all of his negates. I had just, and I had just established my lock, and I had life, like far fewer life points than he did, but I had just gotten the game state in my favor, but we ran out of time. So if I had another maybe 5 to 10 minutes in that game, I definitely think I probably would have been able to win that match, which is just, losing in time is so suboptimal. Round seven was my only time I got 2-0'd the whole day, which really sucked because I was really trying to bring it back around by round seven. And so I was 5-3 at that point, and then round eight, I'm sorry, 4-3. Round eight, I 2-0'd Ishizu Tier Elements. So I went 5-3. I was really trying to win out the damn thing. I won my first 4 matches, which was really sweet. Being able to take, table one for a couple rounds and be on stream and shit was pretty cool. Everyone that was at that event was super cool. So I figured I'd give you guys an updated list and just kind of some things I would change around moving just forward in the format. Hopefully Tier gets, that deck is, I don't know. Well, first off, this is a rogue deck, so we always have to accept the fact that like we're going to get beat out by decks that have like an insane amount more of recovery or power plays and just a heavier access pool. So that's kind of a good, I don't know. I love the idea of being able to take this deck and push it to first place, but at the same point in time, I do realize that there are decks that are just inherently built a lot stronger. So that's why I try and play this one as well as possible. But it does get blown out of the water by some decks. Not anything that's playing water, so Tier Elements, Flunderies, they do have cards that can kind of navigate around it, but there are certain decks like matchups, so like the Nichiria Ishizu and stuff like that, that's just completely dunks on. So I don't know, it'll always catch people off guard. I had more people, it was super fun to play this because immediately, people, there was bumbling about it and whatnot, which is cool because a lot of people were talking about it, but no one knew what the fuck the deck did, that's always fun. Like the moment that your opponent has to start reading your cards, like that you're already at a way higher advantage than someone that, if it were just to be a mirror match or something where you already know what all of your opponent's cards do. And I think that's obviously going to be the biggest thing for this deck is people know of it, but no one actually knows what any of the cards do, and that's really the biggest thing that it has for it in its corner. So I don't even know how to. We'll just go this way. So Maiden of the Aqua, I did play one copy for her. I did not play this version. Yoshiru. Oh, hold on. Yorishiru. Actually looked up what this meant. But so I'm going to tech one copy out. I know that in so many comments before I said I wasn't going to play a copy of her, so whatever. I'm going to try one version or one copy. I feel like her resource, like the fact that she can bring monsters back from the graveyard is, again, like I just was saying, that one of our biggest things is that we don't have recursion. So if she's able to pump bodies back out of the graveyard, I feel like that could be beneficial. Obviously, in this format, we get shit on by any sort of graveyard manipulation. So the Maduros and, not Kelbeck, but Agito, I believe, whatever. The two that can manipulate the graveyard. If you target something to bring it back, same thing with Steve Stealth 2 at the beginning of the battle phase. If you target one of your monsters to special summon it, they just chain their guy and then shuffle it back into the deck. Yeah, and again, that's like the most meta deck of the graveyard, just shits on what like few graveyard effects that we have. Obviously, in other matchups though, if you're able to resolve this effect or get her recursion, it can be any water monster, so you can bring back Toad. Obviously, Kairyu-Shin, Jellyfish, I don't know, they're just don't need to go on to explain that or why that's good, but I'm going to take one copy of her and just see if she is worthwhile or not. I'm still playing fucking One Skull Mariner. This card was glued to my hand at that regional. It was ridiculous. I think aside from one match where I did get super polyed 3 times in 2 games, which was brutal. That was probably the most painful point of the entire day, other than the amount of times that I opened this card in my fucking hand. It's amazing whenever you get utility off. I don't know if it's necessary, but I feel like when I side it out, I always find reasons to need it, and then keeping it in, I always open it. So if you play it and just don't open it, it's perfect because you get free bodies, and it's awesome for, you know, XYZ summoning or just having a good body or just making yourself easier to super poly because you have another water target on board. I'm playing 1 Warrior of Atlantis. You could honestly, if you wanted to make Skull Warrior or Skull Mariner another Warrior of Atlantis, why not? Or just something with an effect with utility. At least it would add like some benefit. But I did bump him back up to 1 copy just to be able to search a legendary Broshin. These are the random level 4s, I guess you could say. I inherently think her effect is better than the retrain simply because she allows you to lock on your opponent's turn with Dark Reef, which that's still huge. Obviously, yes, if they have a field spell, get dunked on, but that's why we play Cosmics on the side so that you can hit their field spell and still keep her on field. But again, it's all in theory. 1 Kraken, 3, I don't think this has changed in a while. Jellyfish, 3 Kairyu-Shin, 1 Whale, and 1 Gamma Seal. She's really the only monster that we've updated. Kraken, is it necessary? I don't know if I would necessarily say it is. It's really good whenever it pops off. Being able to, you know, have a Trident-like effect is never bad. It does take a little bit of setup, but he does allow for some, like, to catch your opponent off guard, and then being able to negate the attack. I don't know. It's typically a win more card, so I don't know if I would deem this card necessary. And I mean, this is a rogue deck, so fuck it. I mean, you can really do whatever you want. But I mean, if you wanted to turbo out and make both of these like Warrior Atlantis, I don't know. I don't know if I'd necessarily recommend that. But Kraken, it wasn't like a game-breaking card for what it's worth, but I definitely still like playing the 1 copy of them. I mean, it's a fun deck more than anything. So 3 Jellyfish mandatory, 3 Kairyu-Shin mandatory, Whale wins you games, so I think I'm gonna keep him. Spells, 3 Legendary Ocean, 3 Sonar, 3 Prosperity, main decking 3 Dark Ruler no more, just as a going second card. Cosmics or Lightning Storms in the main, or a Feather Duster wouldn't be horrible for back row removal. More playing for trying to find room for it, but I mean, this deck focuses on locking down your opponent's monster, so I don't try and really hone in too hard on the back row removal aspect unless I'm siding. Still 2 Foolish Burial. I did put 1 Dimensional Fissure back in. I don't think I was playing this at the regional, which it would have been pretty fun. D-Shifter was the shit at the regional. It won me so many games. It was not even funny. I'm not even main decking it, but it could be, I guess. That's another card, I guess, if you really wanted just to have an awesome turn 1 advantage against anything. It's just D-Shifter. The Dragonling player was able to play through it pretty well, which is kudos to him. But against a Shizu tier, I mean, it's just a huge turn pass card. Terraforming, 1 Sea Stealth 2. I love this card. I'm an idiot and forget that targeting effect more times than anything, so that's just my own inabilities as a duelist to remember shit. But do remember that your opponent can't target your water monsters with face-up monster effects other than water monsters. So like call back to return shit or whatever, the tier elements monster, that's, I don't know, there's just so much shit that I tend to miss on my duels. So if I would just remember little things like that, it would help tremendously. Still 1 Call by the Grave, offensive and defensively. It's one of the best spell cards, which is why it's still at 1, but I still think it's very worth playing. The Foolish Burial of Goods that we pair with the Ice Barrier. So this could go to 2 or 3, honestly. And I say that in the essence that there's so much tier shit that if you get Kelbecked or whatnot, they mill one of these off of the top of your deck. That's cool, because then you just get the free search. And Naturi is still, I guess, like a deck that's kind of emphasizing the play of the Ishizu cards as well. So if you open this, it does kind of make the Foolishes a little bit more dead. I mean, you can still send Sea Stealth 2 and other shit to bring back with Sea Stealth Attack, but opening this is still fun because you catch your opponent off guard with this card a lot, and it does get you out of weird situations. So I don't know if I would say it's mandatory at 2 or 3 by any means, but I would definitely say that if you have room for a second and or third copy, it's really not that bad, because it's a very gimmicky card. It catches a lot of people off guard, and if your opponent's just going to mill this for you for free, so you can then search your Kairyu-Shin Whale or Gamma Seal before their turn even ends, that's awesome, because now you have whatever piece that you're missing out of your hand. But yeah, I mean, two. I would say two. As I'm showing you 1, 2 would probably be the maximum that I would recommend. Season Health Attack. The guy that just, hold on, pull it up right here. What did he do? He got a regional top. I think this was in like South America, yeah, Argentina. So he got 7th place. Shout out to this guy, Martin Villarroel. His list is whack as shit to an extent. I mean, we actually have quite a bit of similarities, but like his extra deck was just shit that he can't like ever really even use. It's all just, he was playing Extravagances, not Prosperities. He had a Feather Duster in the main. Instead of the Skull Mariner, he's playing Gaga Gigo, which is the level 5 one. But he was also playing 3 of this in the main deck, which I thought was pretty interesting. If this card gets banished or destroyed, it does kind of suck balls. I guess you could bump it up to 2. I don't know if I would recommend 3 by any means. That definitely seems a little bit extreme. He was playing 2 Ice Barriers. Haha, sweet. So I don't know, maybe bump this up to 2 and Ice Barrier up to 2 potentially if you're looking for other fillers. This is definitely definitively the best card of the deck, and a lot of people are wising up to that. And like my locals, people are playing Cosmic and shit. So if you don't have Jellyfish to protect it, you're gonna get donged. 2 Dark Reef still. This card is insane. I don't know. This card is just ridiculous in terms of what it does. Being able to summon up to 3 monsters on your opponent's end phase is just ridiculous. It reminds me, I don't know, like Trains. I could do that with Switch Yard and Anger Knuckle, because you could, summon 4 monsters on your opponent's turn, but it's very reminiscent of like a Scapegoat-esque effect, which pretty broken. 2 Skill Drain still. It's still my favorite trap card, so I'm just gonna play this just out of sheer pleasure of the fact that it's broken with the deck. I am going to, these are new, I just added these before shooting the video. I was playing 3 goes in match at the regional. Summon limit I feel like would have been insane, simply just get like, so Flunderies, Dragon Link, I mean, even a Shizu tier, if they summon something and bring out the Kelos and then you activate summon limit, great, their turn's done and they're done. I just feel like it slows down everything. Going second, it might not be super strong, and obviously if we're trying to win dice rolls. That was a huge thing too. I did win a lot of my dice rolls on at that regional. The first 2 matches that I lost were matches that are the first 2 times that I lost a dice roll. So I won my first 4 dice rolls in a row. Lost my second 2, which were my first 2 losses, and then my 3rd loss, I won the dice roll and still got 2-0'd, which was super disrespectful. But idea being though, the deck inherently wants to go first. It just makes a lot more sense for me to try and play the deck as a going first deck. If you wanted to try and play it as going second, and I don't know, you probably could, like if you just put a bunch of going second shit and then just try to establish your after breaking the board, but I think the deck is way better at preventing a board from being established. So that's the lineup right now, and I mean, more or less, I mean, if you, like the idea of turn 1 is to be able to set up your board and then dig with Prosperities for like one of your unsearchable cards or whatnot, or to try and like whatever piece it is that you have missing. But I've, I don't know, thinking about what I want to play after this. It'll probably be Gate Guardian, believe it or not, just for as ridiculous as it is. I'm probably going to play this until then, unless something just really jumps out at me. Side, extra, does it matter? We'll do extra. So I just swapped this around a little bit, but for extra Mistar area, Rince's Coral. So I'm starting to see the value in this card a lot more. I just feel like her being able to pump shit out of the graveyard is really good, and you can banish her with Sea Stealth and bring her back and then open up different spots with her arrows. But the fact that she can bring back Jellyfish or Aqua Maiden or the new one, the Yorishiru of the Aqua, I don't know, she has pretty good utility, so I would definitely, if you're not playing her, please bump her up to 1. 2 Toad, 1 Shark, still need an ultra rare. Golem, I was playing that creature swap. There was someone that recommended trying creature swap, and it was super cool. It was a little too conditional or hard for me to, like I would say, pull off routinely to make it like something main deck worthy. If you want to tuck it into the side, you could definitely, that was super fun, but making, going Bahamut, detaching, going for Acid Golem, and then creature swapping the Acid Golem to your opponent, so then they're locked out of special summoning, and then they're just taking 2,000 points of damage. And then that's when you give them, and then this guy can't attack either, so they're really just kind of sitting there. It's super shitty, like I said, very gimmicky. And I say shitty, like it's good shitty, but just not something that I would say, like going to that regional, I wanted to try and make something super consistent, and that just wasn't gonna fly. 1 Dweller, Kraken, Downer. So this is to go or in tandem with the number 47. If you've got, say you're going second, you have Jellyfish and any other level 4, with Legendary Ocean, it reduces the level by 1. So you can, if you can make Shark, attack directly, go Downer. Now that, wait, shit, hold on, Shark has to detach a material. Fuck that wouldn't work. Because I was thinking that you could 2 and then slap this on top, which would be 4, so that you would have a double Zeus. But that's not gonna work. I guess if you really wanted to, you could slap it on top of the Toad. This would just be like a Tornado Dragon or something. It was the Zelantis, that level, or that rank 4, but that, I never went into it, so I was trying to think of something that would have more utility. Just make this like a fucking Tornado Dragon, I guess, or any other rank 4, a Cowboy, if you wanted to be a, but yeah, I was gonna say, other than that, I mean, it wouldn't, I really wouldn't. Or put it back to just Atlantis. No one gives a shit. It's the extra deck. You don't use it. I really thought that would. I'm so stupid. I didn't read my cards. I would not recommend Downer. 1 Baguska card is just a really good plan B. 2 Bahamut. 1 Honor Arc. And 1 Zeus. Again, your extra deck is typically just Prosperity fodder. Your Dweller, Bahamuts are typically I would say the ones that I would go into the most. Obviously Toad off of Bahamut, but I seldom use your extra deck unless you're trying to get out of a particular situation. But again, I've been playing the World Sea Dragon, or that, whatever the hell it's called, World Sea Dragons Atlantis, yeah, and I've never made him once since I've started playing him. So the extra deck is kind of what you can make of it. The Downer, in my mind before I made the video, I was like, oh no, that makes total sense. Why have I not been playing that? But that's why, because it really probably wouldn't come up that much. But unless you needed to go like Toad, attack with it, or and then main phase 2, you don't have to attack with it, but you can, I don't know why you try and put the Zeus on top of Toad necessarily, but side deck. So losing in time absolutely sucks. So I was trying side shit out that's not going to fuck you in time. Unfortunately, this deck has to play cards that could fuck you in time. T-Shifter is not one of those, but this card is absolutely mandatory right now. We don't lose to having our cards sent to the graveyard. It is a little tricky if you have to like do your Jellyfish play to send a Legendary Ocean to summon Kairyu. Make sure you search Sea Stealth attack so that you can activate that in the draw phase and bring it out of the graveyard so that you can then activate this so that your graveyard's empty. Otherwise, you just have to use this first and then hope that you can establish your board second. Otherwise, you're just not using this at all. So it can inherently conflict a little bit, but if you're playing around it well, like you should be able to still use the card, but it's too much of a blowout against certain decks to not be playing. Let's see if the dude at the top, yeah, he's got 3 of them in his side deck. Awesome. He also was playing, wow, 3 Cosmic Cyclone. That's crazy. This can fuck you in time simply because life points do cost life points, or paying life points is what it is. But I'm not playing Lightning Storm just because this is good going first or second, and you will always try and have an established board with face-up cards, so Lightning Storm is hella dead late game. So Cosmic it is. 3 Judgment. This card also shags you in time, but if you know that you're going first game 2, it's an awesome option, because if you lost game 1, at least you know in game 3, like, it's just a way easier way of solidifying your board. I hate the fact that you have to pay half your life points. It does fuck you in time, but it is what it is. So, card's broken though. 3 evenly matched, card's insane going second. Dark Ruler plus evenly is typically game. And then 3 of the Ojama Duo. This card is good for sprites typically. It activates their smasher and yada yada yada, but if you know that you're going first, it's a really good way to stop yourself from getting even lead, imperms, lock your opponent out all at once. I decided to take them out of the main just to make room for other stuff that I wanted to try, but it's still an insane blowout. I won a game on stream with it. Like, you just had to scoop. It was cool. It worked, did exactly what it was supposed to. If you really wanted to get technical, you could play Trio over this one simply because it takes up 3 of your opponent's spaces as opposed to 2. So if you really wanted to get technical, or if you really want to be super spicy, you don't even play the Judgments, you just play 3 of each and just have like a super blowout, or odds of opening up one of them to blow your opponent out. But it's completely up to you. Thank you everyone for following the channel. I saw Craig again at the regional. Shout out to you if you are watching this. And then Sean, who is another homie that said he followed the channel, but he was playing the same deck at the regional too because of that. And so like those little moments make this super awesome for me. So I appreciate you guys. Like I said, I don't really have any intent with the channel other than just to kind of, share some ideas with you guys and record some cool footage. But I do appreciate everyone that keeps in touch and gives ideas, helps me out with all my my misplays. But other than that, thank you guys. I will see you all probably in the next year. Merry Christmas to everyone, or whatever the fuck it is that you celebrate, but have a good year. See you in the next one.